Oh, sorry about that. Fucking hell. Sorry. I didn't want that was a pretty bad start to the video, and I didn't want any new viewers to go and see that start to the video due to the technical problems that we had. So, due to technical problems, we've started again. Right. Let's do one more sound check. It seems that I am not muted. Let me move this microphone close. It seems like I'm not muted, and I believe you can now hear me loud and clear. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Well, let's get going. Now, we got a few comments in the previous video that were rather interesting. Good. Thank you, Samuel Harrison. Can hear me all good? Sorry about that. Everybody's just popping back in. Numbers are going up. Welcome back. Sorry about that. Just a few technical issues. Somebody said I blocked them on Twitter. I can't remember who it was. Somebody said I blocked them on Twitter. Can that person re-enter your Twitter handle? And I will see what a go on. Yeah, because as the great Ian Brown says, for everything a reason. Yeah, what you know about the Stone Roses? What you know about Ian Brown? For everything a reason. So there must be a reason why you got blocked. But hit me up if you want to follow me on Twitter for however long I'm on there. You can find me here at Ultras Podcast. Actually, let me put the banner up. There you go. If you look at the bottom of the screen right now, you should be able to see, oopsie, more technical problems here, but I'll just quickly remove this. You should be able to see a banner. Bosh, there you go. You can follow me on Twitter at Ultras Podcast. So, yeah, whoever said they've been banned, you've probably been banned for a reason, but hit me up. Let me just quickly say as well, while we're welcoming people back into the chat, shout out to my light-skinned brother from another mother. Well, that's probably Shevin, actually, to be honest. But my friend Riku, who was at the boxing event at Sky last night. Look at this guy here, Riku. Look at this dude. Riku, aka Michael Watson. This guy, I love Riku to bits, yeah. As I don't want to tell him, but this man Riku is an absolute dead-on ringer for Michael Watson. Like, Riku could be a Michael Watson tribute act. He looks identical to Michael Watson. Like, make no mistake. Let me look. Oh my God! Look at this guy cozying up to the promoters. I don't want to take the piss, Riku. I love you, buddy. I'm not taking the piss, but I have to just put this in one more time. This is something unreal. Look. Hold up. Oh, shit. Hold up. Nearly there. Right. Let's have a look. Oh, my God. Riku. He's a much better looking version of Michael Watson. Am I right or am I wrong? Fucking amazes me, man. Every time. This dude. Riku looking like Bond 007. Yeah, so he was at the Sky Sports boxing event last night. Look at this dude, man. With Al Siesta. Who's this? I think this is Angel Fernandez. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong on that? Riku there with Angel Fernandez. Who is one of the he is, isn't he? He's almost a spitting image of Michael Watson. Oh my God. Yeah, that's Angel Fernandez, who obviously looks like he wants to be Anthony Joshua's head trainer, doesn't it? Angel Fernandez. If you look at what was going on in the fight with Usyk, you had fucking 4 of them all in the corner talking all over each other at the same time. It looks like Angel Fernandez is gunning for that top job, but obviously he ain't going to get it. But Riku's on very good terms with Angel Fernandez there. And obviously, there you go. Look, here's the one we all want to see. Look, here's Riku with 2 sisters. There you go. There's Riku with 2 sisters. If Riku was, when Riku comes back on the show, I'm gonna ask if you got a colleague to start spitting bars. I would have asked the colleague, give me a freestyle. 2 sisters, what you wanna do with it? What's the other one, isn't it? About mummies. I do mummies in his other song. What's that other lyric he's got about? Yeah, I do mummies. We get that. We used to be able to play Lawrence Okole songs back when we was on good terms with YouTube. But these days, due to copyright, I can't play the motherfuckers, man. It is what it is. Shevin says, is Riku going to be in Okole next video? It could happen, isn't it? It could happen. I might have to ghostwrite some bars for Riku, Shevin. I might have to ghostwrite some trap bars for Riku, innit? Right. Joe says, let's hope Riku gets invited to the next trip to meet a whole lot of Arabs. Absolutely. All right, let's we've got everybody back in here. Welcome to the show. This shouldn't be too long. So let's just quickly go through some comments and then we're gonna get going. Blah blah blah. Yeah, but somebody said they was banned. Let me know what your Twitter handle is, and we can see that. I'll probably double down on a ban, probably ban you on YouTube as well. Who's oh, Jesus Christ. There was something I was going to say before we get going. I've completely forgot. Completely fluffed my lines. All right, let's move on. Let's go on. All right, so first and foremost, yeah, before we get on to Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury, Josh Taylor fans, guys, I love you to bits, yeah. You guys know I'm a big fan of Josh Taylor, but please, man, stop this stuff, man. Stop this stuff. In fact, not this. You don't want to see this one yet. We'll show you that in a minute. But look, stop this stuff, man. Look at this. Look at this tweet here. Imagine the damage Josh Taylor would do to Crawford. Yo, Josh Taylor fans, stop it. Josh Taylor fans, stop it. Imagine the damage Josh Taylor would do to Crawford. Yeah. Crawford would have hit him so many times, he might fucking break his hand on his chin. That's about the only damage Josh Taylor would do. He ain't big enough. He ain't big enough. He ain't strong enough. And he's way too hittable. So, Josh Taylor fans, yeah? Stop it. Stop it. Let's have a look. Shevin says, someone tell Billy Nelson I don't know this ultra and to unblock me. So, let me quickly do this. We'll get this out of the way very quickly. Billy Nelson, right, has blocked me and Shevin on Twitter, right? Very, very disappointed to see that. However, I'm very proud to report, yeah? I am very, very proud to report that Billy Nelson has won a bet, all right? He's currently 3-1 down to the bookies. We're tracking all of Billy Nelson's bets because he claims he wins so much money. These are Billy Nelson's bets from this week. So even though Billy blocked me, I still got my ops out there who managed to get me his bets for this week. Yeah, so Billy Nelson, a.k.a. Rabsy Nelson, his bets this week were Nick Campbell on points on the Sky Show and Terence Crawford by KO or TKO. So Billy Nelson won a bet, yeah? So Billy Nelson's last 4 bets were Terry Harper on points, that was an L. Kid Galahad on points, that was an L. Nick Campbell on points, that was an L. But Billy struck it 4th time lucky on Terence Crawford by stoppage. So congratulations to Billy Nelson. Reckons he got, what did he get on that? 6-4 on that from Bill. Billy's off the mark. So there you go. So it's, put this down here so everybody knows. It's bookies 3. And the King Billy Nelson, the King 1. 3-1. 3-1 from the bookies. Bookies 3, King 1. There you go. Billy Nelson, if you want to unblock me, listen, let me tell you something. If you guys want to do me a favor, at Billy Nelson Box, hit Billy Nelson up on Twitter and ask Billy to unblock me. What the fuck has he unblocked me for? Billy Nelson should be on this show explaining to us some of his betting techniques. That's what we want. But if you want to hit Billy Nelson up at Billy Nelson Box and ask Billy, why have you blocked your friend and business partner, Ultratech? Right. We'll talk about Crawford in a second. We did a video on that already, but we'll talk about Crawford. Right. Mr. Patrick Curtis says you blocked me on Twitter, Ultra. What is your handle, sir? What is your handle? I think I know who you are. And I think I know why you're blocked. I was being sarcastic about Eddie Hearn and you blocked me. No, I don't think that's the reason why you was blocked. I don't think that was the reason why it was blocked at all, actually. But send me your at and we'll have a look. Yeah, I think I know why, and it wasn't because of that either. Nothing to do with Eddie Hearn, mate. Nothing to do with Eddie Hearn. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised the things I get sent. Right, let's crack on. Dillian Whyte on Tyson Fury. Right? This is Dillian Whyte on Tyson Fury. This will make you laugh. You scroll this down a bit. Here we go. He will try to fight Usyk because Usyk is a much easier fight for him. Fury's thinking, I've got so much more height than him, I can keep him at range. Whereas with me, he knows I've put him down before and I can put him down again. Boxing's becoming a fucking clown show, man. What do you guys think about that? Dillian Whyte, he says, Fury's going to cherry pick Usyk. Apparently, he thinks he's a harder fight than Usyk. Yo, we've got nearly 70 people in here right now. Is there anybody here who believes that Dillian Whyte would be an easier fight for... Listen, anything can happen in boxing. Anything can happen in boxing. Could Dillian Whyte defeat Tyson Fury? Absolutely. Plenty of shocks in the sport of boxing. It's on the night. Nothing is a foregone conclusion. So it's not impossible that Dillian Whyte can beat Tyson Fury. But I'm just telling you right now, yeah, do you think on paper Dillian Whyte is a harder fight than Usyk? Fuck out of here. This guy is absolutely off his tits, isn't he? He is off his tits. Now, we've got 72 people and 23 likes. If you could all do me a favor and hit that like button, that would be absolutely tremendous. Like another very, very popular YouTube channel says, hit the like button and subscribe. There you go. That's another, just like another very popular YouTube channel says. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Let's have a look here. Joe says, Usyk is 6'3", Whyte is 6'3". The same fucking height. I've got so much more height than him. Oh my God. It's just the stuff that this guy comes out with. Where's that? You know what? I should have come prepared. Where's that Dillian Whyte meme against Chisora? That one where he's looking at him like, what the fuck? Get that up. Absolutely cringeworthy. Mark Stanton says, Fury's had me laughing all day when he called Whyte a heavy bag with legs last night. Well, here's Tyson Fury's response, right? Here's Tyson Fury's response. Let's get onto that in just a sec. Here we go. Tyson Fury says about Dillian Whyte. And by the way, guys, I think this fight's going to happen, all right? I think that's going to happen. But let's have a look here. So Tyson Fury says, yeah, they're all only workouts to me. I'll destroy every man that comes in front of me. I'm due an easy fight anyway. He, Dillian Whyte, is a heavy bag on legs. What did he say? He, Dillian Whyte, would have been an ideal fight, really. Heavy bag on legs is what I'm after, to be honest. He'd have been the ideal candidate. So here you go. Tyson Fury calling Dillian Whyte a heavy bag on legs. Listen, I think Dillian can win. Listen, it's unlikely, but anything can happen in the sport of boxing. But fuck me, you've got to be kidding me. Listen, let me tell you something. I believe this fight's going to happen, you know. Whyte versus Fury. I absolutely believe that this fight, just adjusting my microphone, I absolutely believe that this fight will happen, is going to happen next. I think as long as Dillian Whyte is sensible about the money, yeah, as long as Dillian Whyte is sensible about the money, I think the fight will happen next. Bob Arum's already come out and said he wants to make the fight. I think Frank Warren wants to make the fight because Frank Warren will be the main promoter because Frank Warren is Tyson Fury's UK promoter. So if Tyson Fury's next fight happens in the UK, Frank Warren's going to be the lead promoter. So that fight for me, I honestly believe that fight, as long as Dillian is sensible with the money, can happen next. What do you think about that? Let me know about that. What do you guys think? I think it can happen next. I think that's what they'll push for. Joe Joyce, there's talks of a fight with Joe Joyce. I don't think that's going to be the primary opposition. I think they're going to look to try and make the fight. Because what they're really arguing about is the split. As I'm sure you guys know. What they're really arguing about is the split, right? Tyson Fury obviously doesn't want, right, Dillian Whyte to get a 45% split. And the top rank have already petitioned the WBC to lower Whyte's purse. Now, one thing I will say that was very, very interesting, which very, very few people picked up, right? I'll see if I can get it up for you. But Frank Warren spoke, I think it was the Talk Sport, And Frank Warren said they'd already spoken to the WBC and they got signed some kind of agreement from the WBC that it would be an 80-20 or 80-15 split. So just watch out for that. Okay? Just watch out for that. I'm going to try and find you the article as we speak. But apparently, Frank Warren and Bob Arum have spoken to the WBC and they may have it verbal agreement from the WBC that if the fight does happen, the purse split will be 80-20 to 80-15 and it won't be 55-45. Now, a few people have been quoting these WBC rules. Have you seen this? They've been quoting these WBC rules. The WBC rules state that the interim champion gets 45%. There's just one problem, right? There's just one problem that with that paragraph that people are quoting. The people that are quoting that paragraph and putting it in videos actually need to look down to the next paragraph. So when you read something, it's always interesting if you read the entire context, yeah, rather than reading just what you want to hear. If you look at the paragraph below where it talks about 45% for the interim champion, it clearly says, right, that exceptions can be made if one of the fighters, basically in so many words, is a big earner. So if one of the fighters is a massive draw or one of the fighters is a huge earner, then the WBC, right, can throw out the 55-45 at their own discretion. So don't be fooled with some of the stuff you're seeing elsewhere about 55-45, it being cast in stone. It's not. If you just look at the paragraph below, in the WBC rulings, it clearly states that at their discretion, they can change that. And they can change that if one of the fighters has a history of earning a lot more money than the other fighter, which is why Top Rank are going, right? Top Rank are going to the WBC and saying Whyte registered his last purse as £300,000. Tyson Fury earned 10 million for his last fight. So it needs to be an 80-20 split. So just remember that. I'm just throwing that in now. I don't know what's going to happen. You know me, I don't really like talking about splits, but I'm just telling you that right now. Right? Just beware for that. A lot of people think it's guaranteed to be 55-45. If you look at the WBC rulings, look at the paragraph below. It's at their discretion. It's at their discretion. And Frank Warren has said that the WBC has spoken to him and that if the arbitration gets resolved and Dillian Whyte has to fight Tyson Fury next or has to fight him, then an 80-20, 18-15 split is a possibility. Joe says, honestly, 20 to 25% is probably still fine for Whyte. It will be the biggest payday of his career, most likely with a Fury return to the UK. Let me tell you if this fight doesn't happen. Let me tell you if this fight doesn't happen. I'll tell you who's going to be the problem. Because you know what's coming. This is what's going to stop Whyte and Fury happening, right? Forget all this crap about Whyte scared of Fury, Fury scared of fucking Whyte. It's got nothing to do with that BS. It's nothing to do with fucking, oh, this fighter is scared of that fighter. It's nothing to do with that. This is the reason why this fight won't happen. This is the reason why. There you go. That's the reason. That's the reason why the fight won't happen. You know why? Because this guy, right? This guy is going to convince Dillian Whyte and get into Dillian Whyte's head. And he's going to tell him that whatever offer is made, he's going to tell Dillian not to accept the offer. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? I'm telling you, the same thing happened to Dave Allen, right? When Dave Allen got a six-figure offer to fight Daniel Dubois, this man all of a sudden became Dave Allen's best friend, didn't he? And told Dave Allen, don't take the fight. You need to know your worth. You're getting screwed on the deal. Do you remember that? And he talked Dave Allen out of taking that fight with Frank Warren. And what happened? Dave Allen passed up a fucking six-figure payday. And look at Dave Allen now. They're trying to bring his corpse back out of retirement to fight Alan Babbage for a fucking what? For a bag of chipsticks. How much money do you think Dave Allen will get to fight Alan Babbage? I'd imagine he'd get a bag of, a bag of Haribo and a packet of chipsticks. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. This is what Dave Allen will be getting for fighting Alan Babbage. Chipsticks. That's what Eddie Hearn will be offering him. Hey, I'm not joking, right? He was offered six figures to go and fight Daniel Dubois. So that's what's going to happen. If the fight doesn't happen, right? The fight's not going to happen probably because of this guy. This guy who has no business being involved in the fight because he's not Dillian Whyte's promoter. Dillian Whyte's a free agent and he's not Tyson Fury's promoter. So he's got no part in this fight.
As Eddie Hearn himself said about Frank Warren, he's not involved, is he? He's not involved. He's not involved. So what should happen is, for all these boxing fans that are so keen on this fight happening, if you're so keen on this fight happening, and if you're so keen on this fight getting done, the key to the fight getting done is for Eddie Hearn, who has no business. Again, he's not Dillian Whyte's promoter. Dillian Whyte's a free agent. And he's not Tyson Fury's promoter. He doesn't need to be involved in any negotiations. He doesn't need to sit at a table with anybody. And he doesn't need to be a part of any phone calls, right? So if you want this fight to happen, this man needs to not get involved. But he will get involved. And he will be in Dillian Whyte's ear. And I suspect Dillian Whyte will get a very, very substantial offer in the next week or two. Very substantial offer. I would imagine Dillian Whyte's going to get offered somewhere in the region of anywhere between 3 to 5 million or something, I guess. Dillian Whyte's going to get a very, very, very good offer. And this man's going to call him up and say, that's a terrible deal. Don't take that. Don't take that fight. That's a 5 million to fight Fury. That's a terrible deal. No, 50-50, 55-45. No, wait for the arbitration to finish. That's what's going to screw Dillian. And you know the reason why? It's not because of what's in Dillian's best interest, right? It's not about what's in Dillian's best interest. The reason why that will happen, right, is because what they want to do with Dillian, ideally, is for Fury to vacate, Dillian to get the belt, and then shove Dillian in with Anthony Joshua. That's always been the game. That's always been modus operandi from these individuals here. I'm telling you, that's always been modus operandi. Get the WBC belt, either by Fury vacating or by a shock defeat from White. And then what these boys want to do is they'll shove him straight into a fight with Anthony Joshua and then make Anthony Joshua undisputed. That's the reason why they don't want White, really, to fight Fury, especially if they're not the ones promoting it. So beware about that. But an offer will be made. I'm pretty confident about that. No inside information, but an offer will be made. So those people out there who think Fury's ducking White, get ready to eat your words in a couple of weeks' time, because you will hear about an offer being made. You will hear about an offer being made. And it's just down to Dillian Whyte to decide if the offer's financially correct for him. Volt says, why doesn't Eddie get himself in the ring if he wants to drive subs to the zone? Everyone would want to see that. Eddie Hearn would be a massive draw in the zone. If Eddie Hearn would be a huge draw if he got in the ring. He'd be an absolutely huge draw. As I've said before, if you look at the entire Matchroom stable, Eddie Hearn is the biggest draw, other than Anthony Joshua, in the entire Matchroom stable. Am I right? I'm right about that, aren't I? He is the most well-known individual affiliated with Matchroom Boxing, other than Anthony Joshua. You would think it'd be the guys who are actually fighting, but it's not. It's him. So that's ironic, isn't it? It is what it is. So what do you guys think? We'll go through your comments. Do you think Whyte and Fury will happen? Do you think Tyson Fury's team are going to make an offer to Dillian Whyte? I am very confident that Dillian Whyte will be getting an offer to fight Tyson Fury in Cardiff very soon. Very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. That's going to be happening imminently. Absolutely imminently. Joe Wells says, Dillian ain't getting that belt if Fury vacates. He gets ironed out by Wilder. Luke Bignell says, I would love to see Hearn get what? Well, no one's going to beat Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn was a former amateur boxer. 4-0 from Billy Carey Boxing Club. So nobody can beat Eddie Hearn in a fight. Eddie Hearn's already a top fighter. Let's have a look, go through some of these other comments. Luke Bignell says, Hearn wants to feed White's body to AJ in a pay-per-view rematch. That's been the plan all along. But like I said, the offer will be made to Dillian Whyte. Mark Stanton says, Bob has already said that Frank has reserved Cardiff for the end of February. That's correct. Why would Frank Warren reserve that? Listen, big fight. Big fight. You're not reserving Cardiff for Fury and Caballero. Well, you never know with Frank Warren, but it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Let's have a look. Mark Wharton says, I just can't see ESPN wanting this fight. Well, Bob Arum seems to be interested in the fight, and he's the promoter. And Bob Arum wants Fury to have a fight in the UK. It's quite clear Tyson Fury's next fight will be in the UK. That's what Bob Arum wants. Bob Arum wants him to have a big fight in the UK because he believes if he has a big fight in the UK, the next time he fights in America, the more fans will bring over from the UK to the States. So there's a bit of logic behind what Arum's saying. We'll see what happens. Right, let's move on to the next topic, right? want to move on to a few other topics. So we've done Billy Nelson's bets. Congratulations to Billy Nelson for actually winning a bet. We've done that. Hey, yo, listen. In the meantime, Artman, listen, let me tell you something. I don't have a problem with Artman at all, right? For those of you who remember, I went on Artman's channel to just give him some props, yeah, for getting into boxing. And he cussed me out. And then he came on my channel and he made a bit of a fool of himself. Those of you who remember the live interview we did with Artman, Artman was talking about the conspiracy against Deontay Wilder. As Richard from Twitter says here, yo, Artman, I'm still waiting for that toxicology report. Do you remember that? That toxicology report on Deontay Wilder. Because Artman said he had proof that Deontay Wilder was drugged in the Tyson Fury fight. That's what he said. He said he had proof. Toxicology report's coming out. It's been about a month now, isn't it, since Fury's done knocked him out. So where's the toxicology report at then, Artman? Let me know. Artman, let me know where that toxicology report is. And let me know when we can expect that toxicology report. The one that proves that Deontay Wilder was drugged by Tyson Fury. Because apparently I was told that I was a fucking idiot and a moron. That's what I was told. I was an idiot. I was a moron. I was British teeth. I didn't understand and that I needed to be beaten up and all these kind of things, yeah? For simply asking for some evidence that Deontay Wilder was drugged in the run-up to the Fury 2 fight. So I'm just waiting for that proof because I was told wait and see. So I'm still waiting on it, man. You know I haven't got a problem with you, but if you ever do come across that report, PDF it for me and send it to me on an email. There's fucking Riku. We've already done him. Quick word on Terence Crawford. This will make you fucking laugh. You want to see how fucking delusional these Matchroom fans are? Jesus Christ. This will make you laugh. So Terence Crawford has basically rinsed out Bob Arum, right? Terence Crawford has basically rinsed out Bob Arum, right? And said that there ain't going to be, he's basically not going to sign with Top Rank. We'll talk about that in a second. So there's a lot of talk in a minute on who is Terence Crawford's new promoter. Who's going to be Terence Crawford's new promoter? Well, this man here's got the answer. Look at this. Matchroom will probably get him the big fights. Either that or self-promotion. Can't see him joining PBC. So there you go. According to this individual here, Terence Crawford's going to be signing an agreement with Matchroom and DAZN imminently because Matchroom will get him the big fights. The same Matchroom who couldn't even make fucking Brook and Khan. Apparently they're going to make fucking Crawford and Spence. Yo, the internet's wild, isn't it? The internet is wild. Matchroom will get Crawford the big fights. Oh my god. Do you know, even if Matchroom signed Terence Crawford, do you think they'd put him in with Conor Benn? They still wouldn't put it. They would. Oh my. They couldn't even make Ben and Avanesian. And they've been in the same stable for a fucking year straight. But all of a sudden, yeah, there you go. So Terence Crawford's probably going to sign for Matchroom. Blue Collar Sports, shout out to Blue Collar Sports. He says, Terence buzzing at the prospect of fighting McKinson on DAZN. There you go. The big fights, innit? The big fights. Joe says, how about getting Crawford Adam Booth while we're at it? Well, it is what it is. Anything's possible, isn't it? Ben Crawford, as long as Crawford accepts he's the B-side. Yeah, because you know what? I don't know if you missed this morning's show, right? We did a show this morning on Sean Porter and Terence Crawford and Sean Porter retiring from boxing. I expected to get about 7 people watching because it was like 7 in the morning UK time. We actually ended up doing a max of about 291 people. And we had people from all over the world. We had people in New Jersey. We had people in Philly. We had people from Omaha, from Terence Crawford's hometown. We had people from Vietnam. And I asked them, I said, have any of you guys heard of Conor Benn? 292 people watching from worldwide, yeah? I said, have any of you guys heard of Conor Benn? Silence. Pure silence. That's how embarrassing it is, you know? All these British boxers, all these British channels banging on about Conor Benn and in the same breath as Sean Porter and stuff. It's embarrassing. Speaking of embarrassments, Johnny Nelson. Where's Johnny Nelson at? Anybody wants to get hold of Johnny Nelson. Here's my tweet from today. You can follow me on Twitter at Ultras Podcast. Can somebody ask Johnny Nelson if he still thinks Conor Benn can beat Sean Porter? Can somebody let me know about that? You guys think I'm joking? That's what Johnny Nelson said. Yo, what do you think was worse? Johnny Nelson saying that Conor Benn needs to fight Sean Porter, or Johnny Nelson doubling down and saying Bellew is more skilled than Usyk? And he doubled down on it as well. He said it twice. Hold on. Look at this, look. Jesus fucking Christ. I'll get this. I'll get this up. Where did he say it? Look at this. Look how Sean Porter performed last night, and he wasn't even 100%. Sean Porter, look, let me tell you something about British boxing, right? If you ever want to know what a fucking joke British boxing is, and you ever want to know what a fucking joke the British media is, just look at this. Think about how Sean Porter performed last night against the man that many people think is the pound for pound best fighter in boxing, right? Think about how Sean Porter boxed last night, right? I had him up in the fight until stoppage, right? Look at this shit. Sky Sports Boxing. Sean Porter responds to being called out by Conor Benn. Do you know how embarrassing they're making the UK look right now? Sky Sports Boxing. Like, even putting them two names in the same fucking sentence and then broadcasting that on the internet. Do you know how bad they're making the UK look right now? Bad, isn't it? Real fucking bad. Real fucking bad shit. And there's Sam Jones saying it's ludicrous. Ludicrous. Sam Jones doesn't hold back about Johnny Nelson's comments on Conor Benn versus Sean Porter. Yo, you Conor Benn fans, listen, I've got no problem with Conor Benn, but his fans are delusional as fuck. You need to go and look at how Sean Porter fought last night against Crawford, and then go and look at how Conor Benn fought against Adrian Granados. My God. Levels in the sport of boxing. Neil S. says, Nelson doesn't seem to understand he no longer works for Matchroom. I'm shocked he's not over at DAZN. But let me tell you, honestly to God, what do you guys think about DAZN's coverage? I think DAZN's coverage is garbage. And I think, like I said before, if they don't get the football very soon, it's a wrap. I mean, listen, let's be honest, right? They had Maya Jama. Do you remember them? Do you remember DAZN made a massive big deal out of this team? Do you remember this? Look at this. Do you remember DAZN made a massive deal out of their incredible boxing lineup? Let me get this in here. Incredible boxing lineup. Do you remember this one? This incredible boxing lineup. I have people telling me this was the best lineup in all of boxing. Do you remember when people said this was the best lineup in all of boxing? Darren Barr. Let me tell you about Chris Lloyd in a minute. Chris Lloyd. This guy, Chris Lloyd, is one of the most delusional people in boxing. You know, we talk about the most delusional people in boxing. So you've got your Michael Bensons, your Mike Coppingers, your Chris Mannix. You see this guy here, Chris Lloyd? I'm going to show you a tweet from Chris Lloyd. This guy, when you look up delusion, this guy, Chris Lloyd, there's a picture of him in a dictionary. Let me get this tweet ready in a sec. I think some of you know what tweet I'm about to dig up about Chris Lloyd, yeah? Basically insinuating he's the trainer or an advisor to Joshua Buatsi. Apparently, they said this was the best lineup in boxing. That's what they said. Maya Jama's gone missing. Has anybody seen Maya Jama? Anybody seen Maya Jama? Let's have a look. You get some interesting photos if you Google Maya Jama, but not a lot of them have anything to do with DAZN. There you go. That's what Maya Jama's doing right now. Joe says, where the fuck are the mods? I often ask myself the same fucking question. It is what it is, isn't it? Joe, where the fuck are the mods? I ask myself the same question. Let's have a look. Yeah, so this is what Maya Jama's doing right now. On Instagram with a push-up bra on. Not a lot of commentating on DAZN. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. So, where's Maya Jama? Let's have a look at the rest of this lineup. Darren Barker, a.k.a. Night Nurse. That's Darren Barker. Darren Barker, a.k.a. Night Nurse. Chris Lloyd, Laura Woods, Tony Bellew, who is absolute garbage. We've already discussed Tony Bellew's comments the other week, haven't we, about about terrorism. I'm not going to take it any further than that. Mike Costello, who I've never been a big fan of, and Andy Lee, who's proven to be awful. People said Andy Lee was the best thing since sliced bread. Andy Lee's commentary has proven to be fucking awful. Let me see if I can get that Chris Woods tweet on Buatsi. Is it Chris Lloyd? Oh my God. Chris Lloyd on Buatsi. Oh my God. Even Boxing Asylum have nominated this guy for Bell End of the Week. I got this tweet, yeah, and it was so embarrassing. I actually felt bad for Chris Lloyd. And I don't know if Chris Lloyd's a boxer. Because somebody told me, is Chris Lloyd a former boxer? Because if he isn't, this is one of the most embarrassing tweets I've ever seen. If he's not a boxer. This is fucking cringeworthy. Here we go. So Joshua Buatsi recently pulled out of his fight, yeah, with Vlasov, right? So you know Joshua Buatsi recently pulled out of his fight with Vlasov. A lot of people are saying that Joshua Buatsi is basically faking the funk, right? A lot of people are saying that Buatsi isn't really injured, right? But anyway, I'm not saying that. But anyway, so somebody tweeted Chris Lloyd and said Buatsi's faking it. He's not really injured. He just didn't fancy the fight, right? So that's what somebody tweeted Chris Lloyd. And then Chris Lloyd comes up with this absolute fucking gem of a tweet. Absolute fucking gem of a tweet. Chris Lloyd says, absolutely no chance. I've been doing opponent analysis for Joshua Buatsi on this fight. He wouldn't waste my time if there was no plan to take it. I'll show you the messages he sent to Buatsi in a second, but did you hear that? Chris Lloyd is saying there's no way Joshua Buatsi would pull out of a fight with Vlasov unless it was an injury, because he was doing opponent analysis for Buatsi and Buatsi wouldn't waste his time. Like Joshua Buatsi, when he was sitting down with Virgil Hunter and the rest of them, yeah, and thinking, fuck, you know, should I take this fight or should I not take this fight? Joshua Buatsi sat down, yeah, with a bottle of Supermalt, right, and thought, do you know what, Virgil? I might have to take this fight because Chris Lloyd has been doing opponent analysis for me, and I don't want to waste this time. I don't want to let him down. These guys are fucking delusional. Now let's look at the messages he was sending to Buatsi. This is bizarre. Hold on. Look at these messages he's sending to Buatsi. Look at these messages he was sending. Right. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. This is what Buatsi said. Buatsi said, I think Buatsi said this. He said, I have to respect that. I have to respect that because I rate Verge, bro. Oh, no. That's what Chris said. But look. This is Joshua Buatsi telling him, tell me the things to work on, bro. Let me hear that. So Joshua Buatsi's actually telling, I think he must be winding this guy up. Joshua Buatsi's telling Chris Lloyd to send him tips on his next opponent. And if you can see here, look, Chris is sending him audio files. Chris Lloyd sent Joshua Buatsi 14 minutes of audio giving him tips on how to beat his next opponent. And then he tells Chris, sup, Chris, thank you for the feedback, bro. I've had to pull out. So there you go. Somebody said here, innit, look. Somebody said, Joe Wells says, man, you're in trouble if you're asking Chris Lloyd for help. That is bizarre. Joshua Buatsi's DMing Chris Lloyd and asking him for tips on how to beat fucking Vlasov. Jesus Christ. Buatsi is just a really nice guy. That's what's going on there. Joshua Buatsi is just a really, really nice guy. Sometimes nice people don't know when to say, hey, can you fuck off? Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. Hey, Blue Collar Sports, is Chris Lloyd a former fighter or did he ever box or do anything? That's bizarre that he's got pro fighters asking him for tips. Right. Let's move on that. So yeah, DAZN's commentary team. I don't know what you guys think, but it's not looking good, is it? I don't know how Addy's getting along. I don't really watch DAZN anymore, to be honest. So I wouldn't really know. But let me know. I hope Addy's doing well over there. But I hope DAZN make it, because if they don't, then I don't know where Addy's going to go after that. You know, to be honest, because right now it's just not looking good for them, is it? Right, Chris Eubank versus Liam Williams. Is this fight on? Is this fight off? I'm hearing different things. Mike Coppinger recently delivered a tweet. Mike Coppinger told everybody that one of his sources, obviously Eddie Hearn, had told him that the Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams fight was off. That's what he was told, right? That's what his sources told him. His source was obviously Eddie Hearn's WhatsApp group. Because don't forget, Eddie Hearn doesn't want people to watch Chris Eubank and Liam Williams over Conor Benn versus part-time chef and nutritionist Chris Algieri, the man who Eddie Hearn famously said couldn't take the skin off a rice pudding. Yeah, that's what he said. He said Chris Algieri couldn't take the skin off a rice pudding. Next minute, he's shoving them in the ring with fucking Conor Benn. So, in my opinion, it's pretty clear. I think Eddie Hearn was the one who messaged Mike Coppinger as soon as he got the whiff that Liam Williams wasn't going to fight, and told Mike Coppinger, get this news out ASAP. So I think that's who Cop's source is. But people involved with the promotion are saying something different. So it's very, very interesting. People directly involved with the promotion are saying they don't know if this fight's on or off, and they have not received any official word that the fight is off. Liam Williams has not told the people who are staging the fight that this fight's off. I know that for a fact because I made some inquiries. So Liam Williams has not told anybody involved with the promotion that this fight is off. Now, like I said before, it doesn't mean that Coppinger's wrong, but it means there's a big disconnect there. And you can see Chris Eubank's tweet. Here we go. Chris Eubank saying, please don't tell me after all your shit talking, you're trying to weasel your way out of the fight, crying about a training injury. I know I buried you in the gloves are off interview and labelled you a bottle job, but surely you're not going to bottle it this early. So it's bizarre, isn't it? I think if Liam Williams really had an injury and that fight was cast iron off, I think you would have heard it by now. Do you know what I mean? It's been a couple of days, isn't it, since it was kind of leaked out that this fight could be off. So it could be interesting. Joe Wells says, if it's off, I can see Matchroom new signing announcement. What, you think he signed with Matchroom and that's what's gone on? Is that what you think's gone on? You think he's been snapped up by Matchroom and that's how they know that he's gonna pull out of the Eubank fight and come and fight on the zone? We'll see. It's bizarre. I thought Liam Williams had signed a long-term agreement with Frank Warren prior to getting the Andrade fight. So I have no idea what's going on. I would have thought you'll probably see him on a Pro Bellum card or something, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, GP Poker says be gutted if that fight's off. We're waiting in a minute. But at the minute, it's Mike Coppinger versus the world. Who's right and who's wrong? Wouldn't surprise me if Coppinger was right on this one. Neeles says, nah, Frank's booted him. What? Really? Why would he boot Liam Williams? Liam Williams probably left of his own accord there. Let's have a look. Being said, Adam Smith said last night, he's heard a rumour, but nothing is official and the show still stands. Do you know what? I have to be honest with you. That is absolutely appalling, you know. I have to say, for the promotion. You know, you should be able to get a straight answer. Are you fighting or are you not fighting? It's a yes or a no. I think it's absolutely dreadful the way that's been handled. And to be honest, it's one of the few times that I can't really blame Adam Smith. I can't really blame Ben Shalom. And I can't really blame Sky. I think the way that's been handled by Liam Williams and his team is awful. If you're out of the fight, tell everybody you're out of the fight, pull out of the fight, and let them get a replacement. I tell you what, right? I don't think it's got anything to do with an injury. Period. I don't think it's got anything to do with an injury. Let me know what you guys think. It's to do with something else, but I don't think that's got anything to do with an injury. P.S. Chris Eubank Jr. making himself look like a fool. Do you know what? It never ceases to amaze me how many rich people have so much money and they still can't dress themselves. What do you guys think? I mean, listen, I am not, a big fan of sort of dressing up at all. I look like something out of a Sports Direct catalogue. Find me trackied up, shell suited up wherever I go. But it amazes me how many people, particularly rich people, spend a lot of money on stuff like this. They look ridiculous. What do you think? Chris Eubank Jr. here looking like Flo Rida. Do you not think he looks like Flo Rida? He looks like Flo Rida on a diet. Let me just Google Flo Rida. Do you not think? Chris Eubank Jr. looking like Flo Rida on a diet. You spin me right round, baby, right round like a man. Let me see if I can get a good image of Flo Rida in a fur coat. I bet I can get it. Flo Rida, aka Chris Eubank. This guy's an absolute clown, you know. For real, for real. Here we go. This is the closest I can get. Because this is the closest I can get. I can't find anything too close. This is the closest I can get in a minute. But there is a bit of resemblance there. If Flo Rida really had the beard filled in, look. Chris Eubank, aka Flo Rida. He looks ridiculous. He looks absolutely ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? It just looks ridiculous. I don't understand who's told him he looks good like that. I don't know, man. These fighters are delusional. Or maybe it's a Brighton thing. He'd be up in Brighton. Nick Vandenberg says, has he had a beard transplant? It's interesting, isn't it? Because I've never seen him. You get these fighters before, and you've never seen him with beards, and then all of a sudden it is what it is. Boxing Hype says, Marku slipped up and said the N-word. Did he? Is that true? Yes or no? Did Florian Marku... I didn't watch the... Listen. The only fight I watched last night was Crawford and Porter. What am I wasting my time watching Sky Sports for? Waste of time. But is that true? Florian Marku was saying the N-word. Listen, I have to be honest with you. It doesn't surprise me. Given what we know about Florian Marku's fan base and some of the things they like to scream at opposition fighters, it wouldn't surprise me. At all, to be honest. I mean, I'm just Googling it now. Oh my God. Okay. Right, he didn't. So you guys are full of shit. Here we go, look. So Florian Marku just pronounced Nigel Benn's name in pure Albanian, and some are intentionally trying to make it as if he said the N-word. There you go. Some people will look for anything. There you go. Yeah. So, you know, listen, you know the way racial tensions are at the moment. Do you know what I mean? The slightest indiscretion, and we're looking at riots and BLM protests in the streets. Right, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before I go and have my dinner and go and do some work? I'm opening it up. I wouldn't even mind if a few people wanted to call in, but then we always get complete morons who just, you know, try and troll or do some dumb shit. So, you know, we're kind of having to calm it down with the call-ins. But if anybody you thinks they want to call in, if I know who you are, might be able to pop on for a few seconds. If anybody's got anything else they want to ask in the comment section, now is the time. Brian Burke says, sounds like in football when Edinson Cavani used a Spanish word which means friend and people called him racist. I think I remember that. Jesus, people see race in absolutely everything. Chris Watkins says Eubank needs a personality transplant as opposed to a beard transplant. Mark Stanton says, did you watch the Sky Show last night, Ultra? Thought I didn't watch Sky Show. I don't watch Sky Boxing. I think Sky Boxing is crap. Sorry, I'll listen. I've got a lot on in a minute. I'm extremely busy with work. The landlord of this place is just completely screwing me over at the minute. So it looks like we're going to have to move. After basically agreeing with the landlord that we weren't going to move for 6 months, it now looks like we're probably going to have to move in the next 6 weeks. So can you fucking believe this? I may have to move house, literally 2 weeks after Christmas. So there's a lot of stress going on right now. So no, I don't have time to sit and watch fucking Richard Riakapor, Florian Marku, and some of the other delights that Sky have to offer. Joe Wall says, your thoughts on mince pies that don't have mince in them? All mince pies don't have mince in them, do they? Simple as that. Boxing Hype says, I train at the same gym as Eubank. Yeah, tell him I said hello. Listen, I hear, one of my, somebody that used to come on this show many years ago called Richard Farnham used to send his guys down there. So I used to have a guy on this channel called, some of you remember, Richard Farnham, who had a very, very close relationship with the Eubanks, and he was actually sending guys down to that gym in Brighton every week. So Richard Farnham, at the time that he was coming on this show, was basically in Brighton in the Eubank gym every week, bringing guys down for sparring. And I don't know if you guys remember, we used to get a little bit of insight into what life is like down in the Eubank training camp and what it's like being around Chris Eubank Sr. and such. But yeah, we used to have a contact who had guys coming down there for sparring. And one of the guys gave Eubank a very good spar. Made him look a bit silly, actually. And that video was up on YouTube just before the Billy Joe Saunders fight, where Eubank got absolutely schooled for the first 6 rounds. Blue Collar Sports says mince pies are rancid. You guys want to talk about Christmas food? I don't know. Look, you want to talk about Christmas food? Talk about it for the next 5 minutes. If you want to talk about your favorite Christmas food, we'll go through that quickly in 5 minutes. Samuel Harrison says, what is your most anticipated fight for the rest of the year? Jesus. I don't even know. What is there? I don't think there's anything that but I think Crawford and Porter was the last one. I mean, I wouldn't call Eubank and Williams an anticipated. I mean, I want to see the fight. Yeah, be a good fight to watch, but not anticipated. I mean, I tend to watch a lot of British boxing these days. I don't tend to watch a lot of international boxing. So maybe there's some fucking flyweight contest, yeah, somewhere in Cambodia, you know, between fucking, you know, Wan Heng and somebody else that I've missed out. You know how these boxing aficionados, the ones who don't box, obviously, and go to the boxing gym. You know, these boxing aficionados who bang on about, oh, listen, Tank. I would have loved to have seen Tank and Rolly Romero, but Rolly Romero got done, didn't he? Absolutely disgusting how he got done as well, Rolly Romero. That was absolutely disgusting how he got done. I was really looking forward to that fight because Rolly Romero and Tank, that was a masterclass in how to promote a fight. I don't care if Rolly was going to win the fight or not win the fight. The way he was promoting the fight was fucking awesome. You know, the way he was promoting the fight, the way he was stirring up the beef, the Instagram videos he was doing, I just thought it was brilliant, you know? And I was really interested in seeing the outcome of that fight because boxing's all about making fights that people care about who wins and who loses, right? Oh, of course, we've got Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. I have to say I'm interested to see that fight because I'm interested to see the fallout if Tommy Fury loses that fight. To me, Tommy Fury should win that fight. But there's a lot of money invested in Jake Paul. And I think if it goes to the cards, it's going to be very, very hard for Tommy to get a decision. Very hard. Because there's a lot of money invested in Jake Paul. A lot of money in Jake Paul fights. So I think, to be honest, Tommy's going to have to get rid of him. Otherwise, I think Tommy's going to lose that 0. But he's going to be getting £1 million for the pleasure of it. Blue Collar Sports says Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa is a fight I'm looking forward to. Fulton is very impressive to me. I've only seen small bits and pieces of Fulton. I'm basically a casual these days, to be honest. I like to spend more time sort of, watching technical boxing videos rather than just, you know, but it is what it is. Let's have a look. Devin Haney, I don't really give a shit about Devin Haney, and I don't give a shit about Tank versus Isaac Cruz either. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I wanted to see Tank and Rolly Romero. You know, that's what it is. Boxing Hype says he met Roy Jones down there as well. Eubank has gotten better with him. Bloody hell, Roy Jones, the legend. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Send my regards to Roy Jones and Chris Eubank Jr. the next time. Listen, can you imagine if I walked into your gym? I'd get fucking hammered in there, man. Chris Eubank wants my head on a fucking platter. Absolutely. I can't work out who wants to beat me up more. Dillian Whyte, Chris Eubank, or Conor Benn. But one of them three would absolutely love to put a bullet in my brain. Joe says on Christmas food, turkey is massively overrated. Our family doesn't bother. We just get whatever meat we would prefer. Blah, blah, blah. Arthur versus Yard. Of course, I forgot that. Yeah. Arthur versus Yard. Cheers, Dave Lane. I forgot. So the ones up the rest of the year, the fights I'm looking forward to are Arthur versus Yard. What's that one I just said? I just fucking forgot the one I was just fucking talking about. Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. And there was one other one. Oh my God. Mark Stanton says Parker versus Chisora. I'd rather get a fucking enema with a hot poker than fucking watch Parker and Chisora. I'm not even going to watch that fight. Parker versus Chisora. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Who the fuck wants to watch that? The first one wasn't even nothing to look at anyway. Jesus Christ. The first one was fucking painful anyway.
Let alone the second one. Jesus Christ. Sonny Edwards the same night as Ben and Eubank. Look, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch Sonny Edwards in that kind of fight. Do you know what it is? It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Still with Frank Warren, by the way. For people who are asking me, has Sonny Edwards left Frank Warren? He has not left Frank Warren. He said it himself on Twitter. Frank's working with Probellum, which are MTKV2. Do you know what? I was meant to have a call last week, right? From somebody in boxing was meant to give me a phone call and give me some inside information on Probellum and Queensberry. And I'm still waiting for that phone call. That individual phoned me. That individual hit me up on Twitter and said, Ultra, I'm going to give you a call today. Are you still available to talk? And I said, yes, bro, give me a phone call. And bro, the guy hasn't phoned me. Maybe he's been sniped by Dillian Whyte, but I'm waiting to hear about some inside information about Probellum and Queensberry and what's going on there. Blue Collar Sports says Ahara Davis versus Ishmael Barroso in Dubai will be a fun fight. I'm definitely going to watch that one because I like Ahara. You guys know I'm a big fan of Ahara Davis. I've asked him 150. I've asked Ahara Davis to come on this show more times than anybody else on. It's between Ahara Davis and Spencer Fearon. Ahara Davis and Spencer Fearon. Straight up. Those are the two people that I've requested the most on this channel. I asked Spencer Fearon 150 times to come back on this show a second time and just to talk boxing and not talk about anything that was related to race, BLM, Stephen Lawrence, the McPherson Report. I begged Spencer Fearon to come on and talk again about something that was just purely related to boxing, and it never happened. All of a sudden, all that YouTube beef started, and then at that point, I just said, you know what, I'm just, that's not something that I really want to get involved in. TMT says Parker, one of the weakest heavyweight champions ever. I've never, ever been a massive fan of Joseph Parker. Boxing Hype says, speaking of Campbell Hatton, he might rematch Sonny Martinez. You know, Matchroom are desperate for stars when they're pushing Campbell Hatton. It's not Campbell Hatton's fault, right? It's the fault of the promoter, the manager, and the trainer. The fact that they're pushing him in the way they're pushing him, the guy is clearly not ready. Do you know what I mean? He's clearly not ready for the big stage, isn't it? Is that fair to say about Campbell Hatton? Or am I being out of order? Should I have my house address put out on the internet and people come and knock at my door to beat me up because I said that I don't think Campbell Hatton is ready for the big stage? I don't know. You get some mixed answers on that. But it is what it is. I'm not a big fan of Campbell Hatton at all. At all. And the best thing to do with Campbell Hatton would be to probably stick him on a few undercard fights, right at the bottom of the undercard, and take the pressure off him. Because right now, there's a little bit too much pressure on him, in my opinion. And it's quite clear that if they keep pushing him in the way they're pushing him, he's going to get beat. He was beating his last fight, wasn't he? Let's be honest. It was what it was. He was beating his last fight, wasn't he? So it is what it is. Shout out to Ahara Davis and Ishmael Barroso. That's I don't know how. I think Ishmael Barroso is 150 years old now, yeah? Do you remember when they were calling Barroso the best in the world? Or they were calling Corolla the best in the world when he beat Barroso? Do you remember them days when Matchroom were telling people that Anthony Collar was the best in the world? Man, those were the fucking days, man. But yeah, Ahara's welcome on the channel. And like I said, I don't know why he won't come on. I think it's a serious piece of misjudgment from Ahara Davis to come on. Because, I know what he's thinking. He's thinking, Ultra Tech doesn't draw any views, so what's the point of me being on this channel? But at 6 a.m. in the morning today, we had 300 people watching. And I tell you now, Ahara Davis, when he left Matchroom, went on a very, very popular YouTube channel and told his story. And what happened? He got absolutely buried, didn't he? It did his PR no good. Do you remember that? When Ahara Davis went on a very, very popular YouTube channel trying to change the narrative on why he left Matchroom. And what happened, Ahara? What happened? You got absolutely buried. By everybody watching that video, you got absolutely buried. All them views didn't do you any good, did it, Ahara? Everybody still called you a B quitter, didn't they, Ahara? See? Now you're going to come on my show. You're going to come on my show and done a proper sit-down interview with me. That would have been a different story.
we could have really got your side of the story across. But you went where you went, and look what happened. Look what happened after that. I wouldn't exactly call that a successful mission. So it is what it is there. Marco thinks Arthur is too clever for Yard. Blue Collar Sports think Anthony Yard will beat Lyndon Arthur in the rematch. I have no idea. Probably go with Lyndon Arthur. He's got a tremendous jab. But like I said, I haven't really seen... I don't know. I have seen Lyndon Arthur, but I forget his fights very quickly. I think Yard, out of the two of them, has genuine power. I think Yard's ceiling is very high. Anthony Yard's ceiling is very high. Got to remember what he did against... I know it was a faded Kovalev, but you gotta look at what he did against that faded Kovalev and how close he was to becoming the champion of the world after a handful of amateur fights and a handful of tune-up fights away from home in Russia. I still think Yard has a very, very high ceiling. A very, very high ceiling. And Frank Warren is not a stupid guy. Frank Warren is not a stupid guy. Boxing Hype says, have you ever been threatened by a boxer, Ultra? Not directly, because I like to hide in the shadows, but indirectly, I've had people tell me that people are upset with me. And it doesn't make any sense because I'm not abusive at all about boxers. I don't abuse boxers about their personal lives. I don't really abuse boxers about the color of their skin or whatever. The comments that I make are purely about boxing and or if, a fight is being stupid. But if you look at the comments that I make, I take the piss, right? But I don't come out and say stuff about boxers that crosses the line. But a lot of these guys who are boxers, to be honest, no disrespect, they're not the smartest knives in the drawer. That's why they're boxing. Listen, a lot of people, let me say this in closing and then we'll move on and end this show. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of these boxers are not the smartest knives in the drawer. They're not. And they have very, very short shelf lives. Listen, people think, oh, just because they're on Sky TV, just because they're on IFL TV, they're superstars, they're earning all this money, they're rich, they're this, they're that. They're not. But life of a boxer is a very, very short life. And a lot of these guys have a very, very short peak where they earn a little bit of money for a certain period of time. And then, after, 6 months to a year, they fade away from the limelight and that's the end of them. And, you end up seeing them, working the counter in Aldi or, working as a cab driver, or they have to get 2, 3 and 4 jobs. Life of a boxer is not glamorous. A lot of these guys aren't really the smartest knives in the drawer. So they can't really, a lot of them don't understand the difference between constructive criticism and abuse. Makes sense? That's my opinion. I don't think I've ever said anything on this channel that warrants being threatened by anybody. But it is what it is, isn't it? But I hear that there are a couple of people who aren't too happy with me because I don't blow smoke up their ass and say they're incredibly avoided fighters or say that they're going to be world champions. So because I'm not willing to tell Porky Pies, apparently I'm public enemy number one. It is what it is. Any final boxing questions before we go? I think that's pretty much it. I messed up on this stream, I had a lot of views on the first stream. And then when I deleted it and went to the second stream, big problems are going on. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're listening. Oopsie daisy. What's happened there? Sorry, a little bit of a technical problem there. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I have no idea who will win between Golovkin and Murata, but I will watch it. And it is what it is. Yeah. Peace out.